You will be watching a silent film, the inauguration of President William McKinley in 1901, the start of his second term of office. Again, there's no sound. This is from the Library of Congress. Okay, that's supposed to be William McKinley, his second inauguration in 1901. Now let's jump to something else. Let's listen to President McKinley speak. This is a sound recording of his speech at the Pan American Exposition, Buffalo, New York, the site of where he was, quote, assassinated.
My fellow citizens, current statistics indicate that this country is in a state of unexampled prosperity. The figures show that we are furnishing profitable employment to the millions of working men throughout the United States. The expansion of our trade and commerce is the pressing problem. Reciprocity treaties are in harmony with the spirit of the times. We must build the Isthmian Canal, which will unite the two oceans. The construction of a Pacific cable cannot be longer postponed. In the furtherance of these objects of national interest and concern.
Okay, now also making the news, big time, is another big name, another William. Another William. So let's jump to this other William.
This whole system of income taxation has degenerated into a racket. The sooner this impudent, intrusive, despotic, discriminatory, and perhaps revolutionary system of taxation is repealed, the better it will be for the honesty, the industry.
Let's go back then to that was William Randolph Hearst. Again, these are all just fictional characters or a fictional play that's put in front of the eyes of the American public. Yes, they're all fictional. William McKinley and William Randolph Hearst. But let's go back to William McKinley and his speech. Now, I'm not expecting you to be a sound expert, and I'm not saying that my ways are perfect, and I'm not saying you have to agree with me. But I'm going to give you my thoughts and my research for whatever it's worth. Back to William McKinley.
Are performing an important part. The good work will go on. It cannot be stopped. These buildings will disappear. The creation of art and beauty and industry will perish from sight. But who can tell? The new thoughts that have been awakened, the ambition fired, and the high achievements that will be wrought through this exposition. Gentlemen, let us ever remember that our interest is in concord, not conflict, and that our real eminence rests in the victories of peace, not those of war.
Okay, so you have McKinley, and then you have Hearst. And of course,
the wealth and the welfare of the whole American people.
So back to his speech.
Whole system of income taxation
William Randolph Hearst.
has degenerated into a racket. The sooner this impudent, intrusive, despotic, discriminatory, and perhaps revolutionary system.
So in a way you have the right hand and the left hand. You have the president and you have someone supposedly who's one of the wealthiest men in the world, who runs most of the newspapers in the United States, William Randolph Hearst. And supposedly he begins to go bankrupt. Now they're both fictional characters. And I'm going to suggest to you, with some evidence, that they're one and the same. They're one and the same. William Randolph Hearst on the right, President McKinley on the left. Now, I've had a lot of folks question my methods, and that's a fair question. I'm not going to dismiss it. Is it possible that I am incorrect? Yes. However, I'd like to stay by the meter in that the meter is telling me I have a 75% chance that I am correct. That the same actor plays both parts. That of William McKinley and that of William Randolph Hearst. Now I think of someone like in our modern fictional comic book world, you have millionaire Bruce Wayne, who secretly is what? Batman. Even our so-called farmer president. You have a fictional character called Donald Trump, who is what? A millionaire billionaire. It appears that the hoax lie system loves to present to us this combination of power and wealth. So you have it in both characters. You have McKinley with the power, and you have Hearst with the wealth. And I do find it interesting that both their names are William. Now, do the dates match? Approximately. Supposedly McKinley is a little bit older, and we can check that out here with McKinley born in 1843, January of 1843. McKinley is born, supposedly. And then you have Hearst born when? In 1863. So supposedly there's about a 20-year gap. But it's easy to take someone who's younger and make them appear older. So if you actually look at the photos just by eyesight, you can get a general idea that, yeah, they're one and the same. Now, how did this all come about for me? And I know that maybe some people are interested in this and some people are not interested in this. But I want to tell you a little bit about things so that possibly you can do some of this yourself and not be afraid to give it a try. Now, a while back, I was fortunate to be able to purchase this box set called Citizen Kane. And there's 3 DVDs in there. One is the movie Citizen Kane. The other's about the controversy over the movie Citizen Kane. And then another one is RKO something or other that talks about Orson Welles making the movie Citizen Kane. And when Welles made the movie, supposedly he made it secretively, and he was making it about none other than William Randolph Hearst. Or excuse me, that's not Hearst. William Randolph Hearst. And when I was watching the movie, they brought up about McKinley and his so-called assassination. And they also brought up about Hearst supposedly going bankrupt. And I thought, it's all baloney. How could the most wealthiest man possibly in the world begin to go bankrupt? And was he really insane, making a big castle called San Simeon and collecting art treasures from all over the world? And then there had to be an art sale to sell these art treasures because the Hearst newspapers went bankrupt. And I said to myself, it's all baloney. It's all nonsense. So what is the truth? Well, it became clear to me that the same actor played both. I could actually see a physical resemblance just by watching the 3 DVDs that I'm showing you here in this box set. Okay. I could actually see the resemblance between Hearst and McKinley. And you could see that in the movie they were saying that Hearst could provide the war. There's a statement that's famous for about the Spanish-American War. You provide the photos, namely the photographers or the media, and I will provide the war, meaning Mr. Hearst. He will create it in the newspapers. And so it is said then that Mr. Hearst controlled public opinion, and public opinion pushed the United States government to go to war over Cuba and have the Spanish-American War. And I began to think about all of this nonsense. I'll just show you some of this booklet, because it's a nice little booklet that came with this. Okay, RKO made the movie. And then, of course, there's this big so-called controversy that develops because Orson Welles, at age 24, makes this movie about none other than William Randolph Hearst. And he makes it in such a way that it's kind of a big slam against his life. And then there's pressure put on Wells and RKO Studio that the film will not get distributed. Supposedly Hearst goes to the major film industry and says, don't publish that. Don't let that go in your movie theaters. And then, of course, the movie theaters are fearful that there will be reprisals by Hearst. And so it wasn't really shown in a lot of movie theaters. It was a little hard to view the film. This is supposedly when Wells goes to the stockholders and makes a case for freedom of expression, and so what, he made the film about Hearst. And I got to thinking, maybe this is definitely a double deception. And here's why. Because I know Orson Welles played none other than Goring in World War II. Yes, Orson Welles dressed up in a German uniform and played the commander over the Luftwaffe Air Force. Did you ever wonder why the German Air Force would let such a huge man into the Air Force? It's because Orson Welles started gaining weight. He was 24. The movie came out in 1941. And he was moderate. But obviously, in the early 40s, he gained an incredible amount of weight. And later, Welles went on to play Goring. So I know that Welles is in on it. And if Welles is in on it, is he really that concerned about exposing Hearst as a scumbag? No. What is he about? He's about protecting the true identity of William Hearst, who's just an actor that played William McKinley. President McKinley, and was way up at the top. Now, Xanadu is supposedly the castle, and that's a parallel of San Simeon, or the big castle that was built by William Randolph Hearst. Now, that's the snow globe, and that enters into the movie because the movie opens up with the snow globe breaking and him saying the magic word, Rosebud, Rosebud. And everybody wonders, who is Rosebud? Who is Rosebud? We have to wait till the end of the movie to find out that Rosebud actually was the sled that Charles Foster Kane had when he was a young boy. Now, if you watch the DVDs in this set, the second DVD, that's Wells. There's the first one, which is the movie, and there's the second one, which is the controversy about Citizen Kane, and there's the third one. It's called RKO 281. Now, if you watch this DVD, they will tell you that Rosebud was supposedly a reference to the female target area of William Randolph Hearst, who had living with him Ms. Davies, and in an adulterous relationship. So they really made Hearst as a real scumbag. Now, was it true? And you know what my answer is? No, none of it was true. Now, people are going to say, oh, you're just too far off. You're too far off the mark. You know what? I don't think so, and here's why. Nothing they tell you is true. Nothing. And I mean it. Nothing. Nothing is true that they tell you. So you have to go on the basis that nothing is true, and you are left to go on a truth search. Now, most people are not capable of doing much truth searching because most people just want to sit back, turn on a television set, or turn on a computer and let something or someone tell them everything. And then just absorb that into their head. I liken it to getting a can opener and opening up a can and dumping out good stuff and then dumping into that can the garbage and propaganda and lies and then sealing the can up again. And that's basically what people do. I don't take that approach. And the approach I take is I'm going to try to figure things out on my own. So my conclusion is this, that the same actor, whoever he was, played President William McKinley, and then he played another William. He played William Randolph Hearst, the millionaire. You are free to disagree. You are free to comment. I will not ban you if you say I disagree. I will not ban you if you say you're off base. That's okay. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to figure some things out and share them with you. I enjoy doing it, and I hope you enjoy hearing my thoughts. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and this concludes the video.